Hello and welcome back. I'm at the Avon Reservoir on Dartmoor and I'm going to meet two friends and we're going to go and do a circular on this particular part of Dartmoor. We have done it before, or part of it, and we actually made the error of going or cutting our own track, and yeah, that proved extremely difficult and hard going. As anybody who's been to the uplands of Britain will know, walking on upland moorland can be extremely challenging, slow, difficult, and become a hard slog. Stick to the tracks and it'll be a lot more enjoyable. And that's what we're going to do on this particular adventure. We're going to find the tracks and the marked pathways, and we're going to stick to those just to enjoy what Dartmoor has to offer. Now I'm heading to Black Tor and my two friends are already set up. They've got themselves established and I'll see them in the distance waving to me, and now I've got to climb up the hill they've already climbed, and it is a hard slog. Now once I've got to the top of this hill and getting up to Black Tor itself, I'll start setting myself up. It is a beautiful location, and in this evening where it is warm and the sun is shining bright, you couldn't want for a better place to do a wild camp. Now I've gone old school and I've gone minimalistic. I'm just bivvy camping, and it's an old army bivvy with one of my civilian sleeping bags. I've gone for the winter one instead of the summer one, and I've just took minimal kit for this. This is actually just testing this out to see if I can get away with doing it on a minimal, kind of like wild camp setup, which I may use later on in the year. Now Smudge and Dave are all also testing out kit. They've got new kit and equipment, and they're dialing it in. So along with me, we're all kind of just figuring things out and testing stuff. So here's my kit, and it is really basic. Old army bivvy, civilian sleeping bag, roll mat doubled over, and just an old tarp doubled over on the floor. You can't get much more basic and old school than that. Now a herd of Highland cows came over to investigate us, and it was a bit concerning for Dave and Smudge because I was bivvied up on top of the rock pile. They were actually on the open moor. But anyway, the herd did turn around and disappear, leaving us to get on with setting up camp and watching the sunset and the evening develop. Now all three of us were enjoying the sunset and the peace and quiet and just really taking it all in. But we weren't alone. There were two people hammock camping in a small wood block not too far from us, and they looked like they had a good setup going themselves. I went to bed quite early, but I woke up in the early hours to this strange coloured sky, which I believe could have been the result of the northern lights. I'm not 100% sure, but it was really strange, and you can see it was this deep purpley bluey colour, and it was really beautiful. I did need to go to the toilet as well, but I'm not sure I could really be bothered to get out of my sleeping bag, so I thought I'd wait till the morning. Now this is a typical upland moorland start. It's usually cold, dank, and you can feel the moisture in the air. Even if it's going to be a hot day, you will get mist pockets persisting. Now I'm usually up before everybody else. It's just a habit of mine, and once I'm up I do have to get coffee going. Now, as you can see, things aren't happening fast to me, and getting started, like getting older, it just means things happen a little bit slower with not as much, speed as they used to. I know it's going to be a blistering hot day, but it is still chilly, and when that wind catches you when you break free from the shelter of the rocks, the wind is quite biting and quite strong at the moment. It was worth getting up early. I got a nice sunrise, but it wasn't the most spectacular, but it was still good to greet you first thing in the morning. Now, I do have all my warm kit on because, like I said, you can't underestimate the difference in weather conditions up here. It can be quite cold first thing in the morning, yet blistering hot through the day. Now, while the other lads were still lying in, I started thinking about having a little explore. So I had a little explore over all the rock formations, and I did go seeking out some of the settlements that were on the map. And I did find a lot of hut circles also. Now here's one of those hut circles, you can clearly see it. It would have been Bronze Age or Iron Age, I'm not 100% sure. It's just marked as a settlement on the map. But in any case, let's go inside, and this would have been somebody's home here. And I'll take you for a 360-degree look around inside their house. And it is truly amazing to think a family would have lived, eat and slept inside this building. It would have meant everything to them. There's sunrise again. I'm going to make my way back and get something to eat and drink. So I'm just keeping it simple here, just porridge and coffee. But that's pretty much a good staple if you know you're going out now and doing a long hike. Now Dave and Smudge haven't surfaced yet, so I'm trying to keep the noise down. But they are pretty much going to have to start thinking about getting up in a minute. And that first hit of coffee first thing in the morning, outdoors up on the moor, and knowing you're going to go off for a little adventure. Truly magical. Well, we're all packed, leave no trace and all that good stuff, and we're ready to go and hit the trail. Just a quick check on the map, and then we're off. Now we're out on the old disused tramway, and this is where we possibly should have been last time. We were too enthusiastic and thought we could cut our own detail, but hey, if people are using the tracks and trackways, there's probably a good reason. And we're already realising our mistake on our first adventure, and we're actually now fully enjoying the spectacular views and the area that we're in and on. Now, there is an advantage to being over 50, and that is you realise nothing has to be a race. It's more about just taking it all in and enjoying where you are. Smudge and Dave check the map to make sure we're heading in the right direction. We're definitely not going to be cutting our own detail across open moorland again this time. Now, all three of us get a chance to see a adder as it slithers off into the grass. A beautiful sight. So basically we ended up finding the Two Moors Way, and then we actually went over to the Abbott's Way. And because we made such good progress this time, we stopped for a long leisurely lunch, and it was a beautiful spot to do so. And we're actually making our way down to the river. There's no river crossing for us this time. We're going to be hitting an old clapper bridge, and this is possibly what we should have done last time. So we're all full of excitement to get to this bridge. Now, I can't state how steep this hillside is going down to the river. You really got to watch yourself, because a twisted knee or ankle could result if, you were a bit too enthusiastic to get to the bottom. Now, this is a really beautiful spot, and we did actually, stop for another cup of coffee just up over the bank there, and it was really enjoyable. But I've got to shoot off, and I'm going to head off home. Dave and Smudge were yet again doing another night to make the most of their time. They have travelled a fair distance to get here. So this has been a very enjoyable adventure out on the moors. Three 50-year-old guys getting out there doing it. We could be sat at home on the sofa watching TV, but we're actually out there in amongst it. Hello, and it's a new day, and it's really got that nice coolness you get just before you know it's going to be a hot day. Now, I found a little blue egg. That means the first of this year's songbirds are already hatched, and they're going to be making their way out into the world. But I'd just like to say thanks for coming along on that wild camp and hike across Dartmoor. It was a rehash of the first one we did, because the first one we cut our own trail, and it proved extremely arduous and difficult because the uplands of Great Britain, it's got the grasses and moorland are difficult to walk successfully if you move off the track or trails, and it makes real slow and a real hard slog. So we wanted to go back and do that particular trail. We found it, did a bit of amateur map reading, and we made our way around the track, and we successfully achieved our goal, and we redeemed ourselves. But I think I may have actually captured some of those northern lights when I woke up in the early hours. The coloration, when I look back on my footage, where I'm just waking up in my bivy bag, where it's all like this purpley bluey haze, I think that could be the northern lights. I could be mistaken. They were due to be visible to the day before and tonight, so I can only guess that that could be the reason for the coloration of the sky. Three old guys out having a bit of fun, walking across Dartmoor, wild camping and having an adventure. Now, what more could you really want? And I suppose what I'm going to say now is the ethos of this channel and myself. You don't have to have big budget. You don't have to, blow time, energy, and indeed, you know, go all guns blazing to have that adventure. Something small, simple, inexpensive in your local area. Just get out there, do it, and by doing that, just getting out there, you will feel good. But yeah, all that's left to be said is oh, that adder that we did see, just to remind people, it is a poisonous snake, so don't, you know, mess about with them. We got, you know, close enough to be able to take a fleeting picture and a little bit of video footage as it shot off, but don't mess with them, because if you do get bitten, you do need to seek medical advice. So just a little warning there. But yeah, it was a privilege to see it, because not a lot of people see them. And in fact, some people think they're almost mythical in that they don't actually exist anymore. But they do, and that's proof. We came across one. So anyway, take care, stay safe, and I hope to catch you guys out on the trail.